Well, hello YouTube and the YTPC, Smoking Buddy Matt, back again. Had to make another video. Was going to combine a couple VRs into one, but ended up talking a little too much on that first one, so I thought, we'll cut it off and we'll just do another VR. Had a couple things I wanted to talk about. So the purpose of this video, this is a video response for a Hoot and a Briar, who is hosting a giveaway to celebrate, I think it's 250 subs. 250 subs, my. Your channel has just blown up. Remember when you shot yourself out of a cannon? Well, that's exactly what's happened to your channel. Oh, and I gave you a shout out a while ago, but I can't take credit for this. You've received shout outs from some other channels, some really good channels. You've gained a lot of great subscribers. I'm sure they're all great, all fantastic people. But when I first saw your channel, I thought, here's a guy. These videos are quite entertaining. He's making videos in his basement. There's hardly anybody watching. People need to see what's going on here. But congratulations, 250 subs and climbing, I'm sure. I did have to switch pipes for for this video. I had to grab my Missouri Meerschaum Mark Twain. Very appropriate for the Mark Twain. Sorry, I forget the name of the book. Witticisms or something like that. Doesn't help that I'm drinking a little bit. I had to pour me a little bit of the Wild Turkey 101. Got a fly on my nose. Great. Just had to have that over a few pieces of ice. Now when I drink bourbon, I don't normally have it over ice, but it just sounded really refreshing. And it is 101, Wild Turkey 101. I'm sure you know Wild Turkey. And I was surprised. I mean, I'd had it, but we did a blind tasting once. Now, at that tasting, I was actually I was the host, or I was handing out the drink, so I knew what it was. But the response it got, I think that pretty much won our tasting that night, other than Buffalo Trace. But Buffalo Trace was a little higher. It was like an under $25 bottle. Buffalo Trace was at like 26. And now you can't even find it. Now buy the Wild Turkey 101 in the liter bottle. Just always get it in the liter bottle. Fantastic deal. But anyway, I'll try not to ramble on too much in this video. But so 250 subs. You're asking video responses on our favorite hat. Well, I happen to have a favorite hat. Right here, by the way. Only the finest haberdashery. And I will say, like our friend, the Pipe Ninja, this hat comes by way of Sydney, Australia. Now, I happened to visit Australia back in 1994 when I was a participant in the People to People program, and that was started by President Eisenhower as a way for most like American students to meet people from other countries. In particular, that was the Soviet Union, China, other places that maybe we had a little tension with at the time or still do. Times change, but they don't change that much. But anyway, they also send people to France, England, Australia, New Zealand. We went to Australia and New Zealand back in 1994. I picked up this hat in Sydney on one of the last days we were there, from the finest mall in Sydney, I'm sure. Now, I was surprised to find a few months later when I got home, I don't know if you remember the U.S. Cavalry magazine, or if anybody remembers that. I think they're still around, but they used to sell military surplus and camping equipment and things in their catalog. So I saw a hat suspiciously similar to this one listed in the catalog. Now, it wasn't branded. This is an official Aussie bush hat. It says so right on the badge. The label inside has long been lost. But trust me, now Cliff, he said he was there doing some diving. We didn't get to do any diving. We were supposed to do some snorkeling on the Great Barrier Reef, and we went out on the boat and everything, but they said the weather that day just wasn't conducive to snorkeling. Now, I don't know, it wasn't storming or anything, but I suppose the water was maybe a little too rough for, we weren't even in high school. We were like 14-year-olds, so don't want to lose anybody snorkeling on the Great Barrier Reef, but we got a boat ride out of it. So why is it my favorite hat? Well, it could just be for that reason. I think that's a pretty good reason. You know, I do have memories of that trip when I wear this hat, when I see this hat. But that's not all. That's 1994. So now we have basically a lifetime together, and I will say I did neglect this hat for a while. There was a time when we were apart, and somebody else who I don't know, my brother had the hat, and apparently some girl he knew attempted to turn it into a cowboy hat by really, you know, turning the ends up. This has like a steel band in the rim, and oh my God, she did a number on the hat. Well, years later when I got it back, I was able to finagle it pretty much back in shape. Yeah, I think I did a reasonable job. So this hat, other than coming from Australia, which is pretty far south, I must say, this has traveled with me as far south in the United States as Cimarron, New Mexico, and as far north as Ely, Minnesota. So I went to New Mexico. I was participating in a trail crew, work team trail crew for the Philmont Scout Ranch, where we built and repaired trails. And then I went to Boundary Waters in Ely, Minnesota, participating in another trail crew program where we built and repaired portages. And I must say, this hat has spent some time in the cornfields of Iowa when I did some detasseling back in the day. I wouldn't do that again. I am fortunate to work a job I don't have to work in a field. But hats off to those people that do, because, oh my God. I like to feel like I'm a pretty hard-working person, but I couldn't do that day in, day out. That time was enough. So yeah, that's my favorite hat. That's why it's my favorite hat. Congratulations on 250 subs. We will raise a glass to that. Oh, and by the way, don't spill bourbon on a laptop. Ask me how I know. Not this laptop, but another. And yeah, it still works, but there may be a few keys that no longer work. Hey, hold on there, just a moment. Yes, over here. Attention, please. May I have your attention, please? You can't do a video response for a hoot and briar, especially about a hat. About talking to your old buddy Sigmund Jackson III. I'm not just your annoying neighbor trope. I'm an interesting person, I swear. But old Sig has a hat. That's right, this hat here you've probably seen me wearing in several videos. It is the finest hat available online from China. But let's not talk about that one. I think it's time for a new hat for Sig, which, sorry to say, I do not have yet. But I've been thinking, with my new internet status, making special appearances and all, this hat may no longer do. I have to say, it is time. I was thinking maybe one of those nice little captain's caps, you know, the skipper with the anchor and the, you know, anchors on there and all. Seems fitting. You know, it's a captain's cap. That way you know that I'm the captain now. I'm the captain now. Look at me. I will be the captain when I get the hat, which I do not have yet. We don't know when. But anyway, congrats there, old Hoot and Briar. We've been watching and judging. Oh yes, I've been judging. But you take care, and I'll see you in the next one. So the other thing I wanted to mention, besides the VR, was that we have Pipe Week coming up. This is Pipe Week. Now you might have heard of Bike Week. You may have heard of Shark Week. But this is Pipe Week. This is a time for pipe smokers anywhere on YouTube and otherwise to celebrate, totally geek out, and celebrate pipe smoking. Now we have International Pipe Smoking Day. I believe that is February 20th, but as I live in Iowa, February 20th is not a great day to celebrate pipe smoking because it's damn cold most of the time, almost always. So I did enjoy a pipe that day, but I was not outside. I was not sitting on my patio enjoying the beautiful weather. Excuse me while okay, maybe I don't have to relight. You know, I made that video where I talked about I just relight too often, maybe tamp too much, and just really cram the crap out of it. Let's try not to do that. But our friend Flat Cat Piper put out a video. He was asking us to kind of spread the word, and I'm sure if you're watching this video, you probably know Flat Cat Piper, but I will leave a link below. He is hosting the YTPC Awards, where he will be picking some award winners, but he's asking for some input on smaller channels. He's asking us to kind of nominate 3 or 4, maybe he did say up to 4 in his update, channels that have less than 500 subs. Now, I'm not asking or campaigning for votes. That's not what this is about at all. I mean, there are so many channels in the YTPC. Many have less than 500. And I think many deserve an award. But remember, this is just for fun. We're doing this. He's doing this. Flat Cat Piper is a good guy. He is just doing this as a way to bring attention to more people that are participating in the YTPC. I feel we've really had a surge in video participation. You know, especially within the last few years, Pipe Week has only been going on, I don't know, 3 years, and it holds I'll say maybe a little special place in my heart, because back when I first started pipe smoking, this was 2017, so this is pre-Pipe Week. But I watched a YouTube video on how to smoke a pipe, and it had to be right then. It was, so Pipe Week starts Father's Day and goes through the rest of the week to the next Saturday. So this year, I think it's the 18th through 24th. That has to be about the same time when I had first seen a pipe video back in 2017. And it took a couple weeks before I went. I bought a pipe, a very cheaply made pipe, and the only good thing about that pipe was that it was cheap. But I soon acquired more, and by 4th of July that year, I mean, I was in it. I mean, 4th of July is kind of my official start, but I really first saw those first videos in the week or two prior. So that puts it right in what we now call Pipe Week. And it's very exciting. So if you want to nominate a channel less than 500 subs, you can make a video response. Tag at FlatCatPiper, or you can send an email. I think it's flatcatpiper@aol.com, but I'll leave a link to his channel below. And I'll leave a link to a hoot and a briar. Please check him out if you haven't already. Give him a sub. Really boost his channel. You could nominate him, by the way. And from what I hear, he has been. So again, this is just for fun. This should not start any kind of controversy or drama. We don't really like that. YTPC. It happens from time to time. It's inevitable. It's bound to happen. Usually gets resolved. But we're doing this for fun. This is just for fun. I even think a lot of the websites, the retail sites that do pipes and tobacco, they tend to participate and they have some sales going on, so keep an eye out for that. I know I will be, because I have a little bit of pad going on. Really had it under control, but it just eats at you sometimes. Alright, so with that, I'm going to say you take care, have a pipe, take the time to take care of yourself, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye now.